Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Greg West coming to you from the Black Community Blackboard page here on YouTube. Tonight, we're going to talk with a gentleman about this organization that he started. But like I always like to talk about before we get started, is this channel is dedicated to the empowerment of our black community leaders, our black organizations, our black business owners, educators, or anybody who's had a positive force in our community. We need to highlight them and give them their roses while they're still alive, not talk about all the great things they did after they're gone. Also, it's important for us to create and direct our own narrative instead of letting the media do it. Because as we know, if we leave it up to the media, they're always going to make us look like that we're the ones going to jail for all the crimes and everything like that. So it's important for us to, get out here and direct our narrative and show the positive things that are happening in our community. Um, if you'd like to support this page, please hit the subscribe button and the like, share with your friends, everything. And also, if you'd like to help us, support it monetarily, there will be the Cash App, the Venmo, PayPal in the description when we get finished. But if you don't have it, just keep showing up. And we always say, if you have somebody who has a good story that we might need to highlight, please have them get in touch with us at blackcommunityblackboard@gmail.com. With that being said, today, okay, he just went off screen. I guess he got a phone call or something.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, okay. Tonight, today, wherever you at and whatever time you're watching this video, we'll be talking with Anthony Parker. I ran across a post that he had made on Facebook with his organization that they started back in January, Extraordinary Men Mentoring Group. And I seen him out there with the children. I ain't gonna call them children, but with the young adults, young men, young women in our community. And and he was working with them, and they looked like they were having fun and doing the things they do. But what really caught me was the quote that he put in his post: "A child that is not embraced by the village will return to burn it down to feel its warmth." African proverb, and that's one good thing. And that's why I said, "Oh wow, this is one of the guys that we need to get on here and talk about his organization." So, Anthony, tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization, real quick, please.
Okay. Well, first of all, Greg, I just want to thank you for having me on the show, man. Anytime we can highlight, like you said, something positive that's going on within our community, or anything that we can help, for an overall betterment of our community, I think it's always important to do those things. So, like I said, just thank you for having me come aboard, first off. But my name is Anthony Parker, born and raised here in Dayton, Ohio. Um, I founded a program about, actually, this would be our third summer. It's called Extraordinary Men Mentoring Group. And what that is essentially a bunch of concerned, men from the community. We collectively felt like, these last 18 months, 24 months have been, extremely rough as it pertains to a lot of our young African-American men being the targets of crimes. Not to say this thing didn't go on always, but with technology and things like that, I think it's come more to the forefront. So we felt like it was very important to create a safe place, a nurturing place for our young African American men to come to in the summertime, to where they could get an old fashioned summer, if you will. You remember when, I don't know exactly how old you are, Greg, but you remember how, in the summertime we went out, sunlight, sun up to sundown.
Right, right.
There was no cell phones and no, video. Well, we had video games. We had Atari, but we wanted to play. We wanted to get outside. We wanted to experience, having a good time and being safe. So, I thought it would be pretty cool to have an all male camp ran by all African American men. I feel like sometimes African American men we get the shaft, as we will, in saying that we're not willing to step up and make a difference in our community. So we wanted to show, hey, not only are we willing to step up, we're willing to do it every day, all day, for an entire summer. A lot of our young men that come to the camp come from single family homes where they don't have many male influence in their lives. So to be able to give them, is everything okay, Greg?
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
Somebody, let me pause this real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry about that, Anthony, man. Like I said, my daughter just came in and scared me. Now, she didn't scare
Pleasant
me. I can't
surprise.
act like that on camera. I got to act tough. But like, she's on campus now, and I'm here by myself. So I'm hearing somebody coming through my front door. I'm like,
Sure. Hey,
but anyway, let's
understandably
go
so.
back.
I get it.
Yeah,
I
so
get it.
let's finish talking about your camp that you have.
Okay. So yeah, so we just decided that we were gonna, make a difference and not just do something to where, not to knock anybody who has an individual event or an event that may take place over a weekend. We felt like to really affect our community, we needed to do something that was going to last an entire summer, something that was going to leave a lasting impression on these young men as they went back to their day-to-day lives. So we decided to, come together with myself and some other, concerned volunteers, and we put together um, this program, this plan, to where we would, give these young men ages 5 to 15 what we call an old school summer. But in the midst of that, throwing some things that they need, that we feel they need to be successful in today's world, like talk about conflict resolution,
Hmm.
talk about respect for oneself, one's community, and one's environment. Talk about the unfortunate reality that they may be in a situation that they don't know how to conduct themselves. It could put them at a in a situation where their life could be at risk. And we're talking about with
Right.
law enforcement, unfortunately. So, we want to create a safe place for them to be able to talk about things that they were unsure about, speak about the frustrations that they had about things that were going on in the world. Give them tools and motivation to, still be positive, and just to show them that, despite where they may come from, they can still have a successful, meaningful life. So, just kind of made out of necessity. We started off with 2 summers ago, we had about 35 young men for the whole summer. This past summer, we had approximately 70 young men, all summer. And this summer coming up, we're expecting to have over 100 young men, for the entire summer. That's ages 5 to 15. We're not going to say, Greg, that we won't take anybody that decides they want to be a part of this camp, but it's geared toward African American young men, if you
Right.
understand what I'm saying.
And I understand, like, because like the organization that I run is really geared towards, people who are coming home, but I really like to, geared towards as many African men and women as possible. But I will also
Sure.
open it up to anybody, because like one thing about
Right.
it, we don't need to discriminate. Anybody who's going to help become an asset to our community, we're
Correct.
going to help.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
what gave you the idea? I hear you talk about, about the good old summers and stuff like that, because I remember like what you talk about. I remember we would go out, I'm a 70s baby. So I remember growing up in the late 70s, early 80s,
Me too.
going outside and
Yeah.
the porch light came on, you still didn't want to, I mean, the street light came on, you still didn't want to get on the block or anything like that. And,
That's right.
chasing
That's
lightning
right.
bugs and all that good stuff.
That's right. That's
So
right.
so
That's
so
right.
what was what was the real motivation behind that though, man? Because I know for me, my idea to start my nonprofit came from when I was sitting on that bunker and I was in penitentiary, and I knew I came from a good upbringing, but I got attracted to the streets, and I said, how can I avoid doing this again and also help other people? That was my motivation to start what I did. So what was the
Right.
motivation for you?
Well, it actually came down to a particular event that happened. I'm also a high school basketball coach here in Dayton. I'm the head coach at West Carrollton High
Right, the
School. So
Pirates.
that's right, the Pirates. That's right. So I used to coach at Charlotte Madison for many years. But so during the summertime, we have what's called open gym. That's when guys come in, play some basketball, kind of get themselves back in the idea of getting conditioned, for the season. So oftentimes it's not uncommon for some of our players to bring their younger siblings in to the gym and kind of hang out. And I always encourage a family environment. So I always look forward to kind of meeting the young men's little brothers, or whoever. So this particular day, Greg, this gentleman who came to open gym, he happened to bring his little brother with him. Little brother was about 10, 11 years old, I would say. So he wasn't quite old enough to participate, but he was on the sideline. So just like anybody else, I always try to talk to everybody, make them feel comfortable. Just ask them general questions. Hey, young man, what's your name? He told me his name, and I seen he was pretty good dribbling basketball. So I said, hey, you like playing basketball? He said, yes, sir. So I said, that's great, man. That's great. And, just making a point to always give our young African-American men something else to think about. I said, hey, listen, man, tell me something that you'd like to be when you grow up. He said, well, sir, I want to be in the NBA. I said, man, that's awesome, man. That is great. I said, but if NBA don't work out, tell me something else you'd like to be, if NBA just, doesn't work out. He said, well, I'll probably play in the NFL. I said, okay, great. I said, you got NBA, you got NFL. I said, hey, listen, I'm not saying those things won't work out, but if they don't, I said, tell me something else non-sports related that you would like to do when you grow up. So, he paused for a minute. He kind of put his head down a little bit. So he looked up to me and he said, well, I guess I could trap and sell drugs. I said, trap and sell drugs. So I was so blown away by that, Greg. I was so blown away by the idea of a young African-American man with his whole life ahead of him and seemingly feeling like he only had three options in life.
Right.
To play NFL, to play NBA, or to sell drugs. It hurt me so bad. But at the same time, I didn't want to start him. So I said, hey, can I ask you a question, young man? He said, yes, sir. I said, outside of LeBron James or NFL quarterback, do you have anybody else that you can look up to that you personally know? So he put his head down again and said, no, sir. So, Greg, I've worked with kids for a very long time in different capacities. I've been in group homes. I've coached for a long time. I've worked with, tons of young men. That situation, that scenario stuck with me for the next couple of days, and I couldn't shake it.
Right.
I said, you know what? I don't have all the answers. Never claimed to have all the answers, but I knew something had to be done. I knew we had to do something to show these young men that you have more than those three options in life. Regardless of your situation and circumstance, if you want to work hard enough, you can still be successful. So I would say more so than anything else, Greg, that's what led me to want to start this camp for these African young men, ages 5 to 15. I feel like I was moved to do so by hearing that situation.
And it's funny. I'm listening to you talk about that, and interview I did last night with Sam Simmons and Brandon Jones. One is a drug and alcohol counselor from Minnesota. The other one is a psychotherapist from Minnesota.
Okay.
We do periodic interviews on here on this channel, and and their channel too. Follow them a lot. We talk a lot about the trauma bond and the trauma bond healing of the young Black man.
Yes.
And one of the things, when I'm hearing you talk about that, and he only had 3 limited things that he was talking about. It reminded me of the conversation we were having last night about the apathy of this younger generation.
Right.
And we did a little walk back until where it really started happening in our generation when they infiltrated our neighborhoods with crack, and we never got a chance to really heal. And now we're starting to see. We're really starting to see the real results of it. We thought we seen it when they were incarcerating us. Now we got 4 generations removed, and it's like they have nothing but apathy. And the big thing, like what I'm hearing you talk about, and I like what you're doing, is because we were talking about, instead of talking about the system all the time, it's time for us to start focusing on the individual healing.
Absolutely.
Taking responsibility as an individual. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So how long have you been teaching? Coaching.
Well, my son's 21 years old. He's a senior at Bowling Green High School. He's 21. He'll be 22 this year. I started working with youth and coaching when he was about 2 years old. So almost 20 years now.
Okay.
Almost 20 years. So I would consider myself a lifelong mentor, lifelong coach. Been doing it for a very long time. Prior to me coaching at the high school level and working with kids at that age, I ran a boys group home for at-risk youth here in Montgomery County for about 6 years. Essentially similar to what we would call a adult halfway house, if you will. So I work with individuals ages 13 to 21 of all different races and nationalities. And I saw a lot, Greg. I saw a lot in those young men. I saw a lot of things that like I saw a lot of things that prior to experiencing some or seeing those things, I didn't know that kind of trauma existed, if you will. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a pretty good environment, a pretty good environment. Parents both around, grandparents around, and to see some of those young men and some of the severe trauma that they experienced, it opened my eyes to understanding that there are a lot of obstacles that uh, we sometimes take for granted, if you will. So, but I've been doing it for a long time, and I've coached at Trotwood. I was at Trotwood for seven years. It's my third year here at West Carrollton. Um, it's something that I think I'll continue to do for the rest of my life. I know, God's calling on my life is to help you. So, I can't say where I'll end up doing it at, but I'll always do it in some degree.
Right. And look, what people don't realize is like they hear us saying that we have these nonprofit organizations and everything like that and running them. And what they don't realize is like a lot of us that start these aren't doing it for nothing but our passion. Really, that's
Absolutely.
the passion to make sure that we help somebody else because somebody gave us a helping hand and somebody else was there
Absolutely.
for us. And like, I know this. I couldn't be where I was if it wasn't for somebody, mentoring me or somebody I emulated. And like, it's sad when we got these young men, like you were just talking about, who can't even think of a positive role model in their life.
Correct.
Who were some of the positive role models in your life to help keep you on the path to get you where you're at now?
Well, first, I like to say that I had a pretty good family foundation. I was lucky enough to grow up with both grandfathers in my life. Maternal grandfather, my paternal grandfather. My father was in my life. Thank God. Um, through sports, I gained a lot of mentors, a lot of people that helped impact my life. Just various coaches that came along the way. Lyle Cole, um, Mike Perry, Art
Mike,
Winston.
Mike Perry, me and him grew up together. We went to school before he got to Trotwood. That's how far
Okay,
back we
okay,
go. Yeah.
yeah. See, I went to a little small school named Jefferson High School. He got the job out there my junior senior year, and he was a good mentor to me. He showed me some things. He inspired me, man. So Kerry Ivy,
I mean,
Dan
Kerry went to
Bird,
school together. We went to Colonel White
yeah, yeah,
together.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Dan Bird, man,
yeah.
those some great guys, man. I always give them credit and give them props, man, for helping instill things in me today that otherwise I may not have had. So um, I'm trying to think of anybody. I know I'm forgetting some people.
You,
Fred
you
Early,
probably you'll probably remember when we get finished. You'll be like, oh man,
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I would. That's how it always goes, man. But we're just blessed enough to have a lot of positive men in my life to show me some things and kind of show me what to stay away from and just kind of inspire me. So
yeah. And one thing, like I say, when you in that post that attracted me to say, let me get this brother on here. When you say, listen, man, by donating just $3 a
yeah,
person, just $3,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, to your cash app. I said, okay, this is what I'm talking about, and
yeah,
because like I said, a lot of people see these organizations going on and they don't understand that early on it's really our funding. It's us, the
it's
people
it.
who start them,
It
that
is.
does it. And
It
we
is.
do it out of our own passion and everything.
We do.
But like it's nonprofit. So I always try to reiterate when I have people on here who have nonprofits to remind the people who are watching and listening, any donations you make to his organization is tax deductible.
Correct.
And
Absolutely.
you can get your tax write-off,
That's
and
right.
it's going for a good cause. It's helping a young man have something that we had, and some things that
Sure.
we know that they need structure in their life.
Absolutely.
you know
Absolutely.
the chance to be a kid, because like in our community and like across the country, most of us growing up and most of the young black men in our neighborhoods don't even know they suffer from PTSD.
Mm-mm.
let alone let alone post-traumatic slave syndrome.
You can say
But
that
we
again.
also,
Absolutely.
suffer from post-traumatic disorder. Post-stress. I can't even talk. PTSD, post-traumatic
Yeah,
stress disorder. So
totally agree.
and giving them an opportunity to really enjoy themselves and be a kid, I really believe is important, and I appreciate the work you're doing. What
I
are
really
some of the other
appreciate that.
things that you might be? What are some of the other things you're doing in the community?
Well, this past winter, I was lucky enough to be named one of 10 top 10 African American males of the year for
Mm,
2021. So that was a very prestigious and um, you know uh, great honor that I was able to receive. Um, just continue to coach. My wife and I, we run a 5-star daycare full time. That's mostly my wife's passion, and she's I always tell her she's got a gift. She works with younger youth, so everything we do, involves youth. She works with young kids, ages newborn to 5. I work with kids 5 to 15, and then we work with the high school kids 15 to 18. So everything we do, it kind of evolves around helping youth and trying to make a difference. But outside of coaching and running the program here, that's pretty much a full time occupation. So, and a lot of the things that I was able to accomplish in the beginning, just kind of going back to what you said as far as initial funding and initial grassroots type things. That's something, if you don't have a supportive wife and somebody who's in your corner who can see your vision enough to trust and believe in what you do, it makes it hard. So I'm lucky enough to have that in my wife, and she's like, listen, hey, if you feel that strong about it, hey, let's strategize a plan. Let's go for it. Let's do it. Hey, let's invest our dollars, to these young men, because at the end of the day, that's what's needed. So, um, that's just something that when you got a partner who believes in you and believes in doing those things, it makes actually achieving it a whole lot easier. So I had to definitely, give her a shout out. So
that's right. That's right. Happy wife,
yeah,
happy life. You know what I'm saying?
that's right, no
Happy
doubt.
spouse, happy house.
There you go. There you go. There
So
you
if
go.
people wanted to get in touch with you as far as like trying to get somebody that they might know that involved with this, I know you said you had a Facebook page. Where would they be able to find you on Facebook?
Yeah, just look up Extraordinary Men Mentoring Group. It should pop right up. We have our own page that you can reach out to us. It'll send it right to my email, right to my phone. We're going to start registration actually on April 1st, and we'll blast that out via social media. Typically, spots fill up quick because this is kind of an experience that most young men in our community don't get a chance to get. So, parents and grandparents and whoever signs them up, they typically get them in pretty fast. So you can find a lot of information about what we've done in the past on that page, a lot of things that we do daily, a lot of testimonials, a whole lot of things you can find on that page. We're working on the website right now, but as of right now, that's the best place to get a hold of.
So make sure that you blast out on our Facebook page, Black Community Blackboard, about the registration, so people
We'll do.
can get in touch with you about that.
We'll do.
you know and again, Anthony, man, I want to take this time and thank you for taking this time out, coming out tonight,
No
and talking
problem.
about, because I mean, I've seen this. I said, yeah, these are one of those organizations we need to talk about. We have to get the information out there, let people know that there is a way that we can start helping each of these young men to start on their individual healing, because as we heal
Yes.
individually, then we can work on helping the community heal. you know we were talking about last night that so many times that we got these brothers and sisters out here trying to heal the community, and they haven't even worked on their own healing yet.
That's right.
And then we end up with a lot of that turns in the youth against want to even try to do something, because they see how messed up our lives might still be, and they
That's
be like,
true. That's true.
I ain't dealing with these hypocrites. So
That's
I
right.
want to thank you again, man, for taking this time. And I'm going to make sure that people know where to find you at on Facebook. And I'm going to put
Okay.
that Cash App in there so you guys can, everybody who's watching this show, everybody donate at least $3.
That's
You can
right.
give more than three. You can give
That's
more
right.
than three. You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying? But at
Hey,
least
we take anything though.
yeah,
We'll take
at
anything.
least
But
three
yeah,
dollars, and
that's right.
Yeah. So is there anything you want to tell the community before we get out of here?
I just want to just say, man, just be inspired to do something. Everybody's got a role to play. Everybody, before you complain about your environment, before you complain about your circumstance or your neighborhood, do something about it. Try to do something about it. Everybody doesn't have to be a direct mentor or a direct frontline person, but
Right.
find your niche and do something to make a difference. I feel like it is absolutely traumatizing when we see these police officers and people of law enforcement, or anybody that we deem to be civil servants, harm Black people. But we have to begin to have that same outrage when we harm each other.
Each
And I
other.
feel like that's when the real growth will happen for our community, when we start holding ourselves to those same standards to where we are beginning to grow together and stick together.
And I agree. I really do. So I'd like to thank you again for coming out, Anthony. Thank you so much.
Thanks
And
for having me.
for our viewers, we like to thank you. And also, like I said, please hit the subscribe and like button. Share this with your friends. Leave comments in the chat. Let us know how we can better improve our shows, or if you have anybody that you think will be a good person that we need to highlight to talk about the positive things that are going on in our community. Like I said at the beginning, it's up to us to set our narrative instead of somebody else setting our narrative. Please let us know. You can contact us at Black Community Blackboard at gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook with the same name. And if you like to support this channel, monetarily, you can find us on. I'll put all that in the chat. And if you don't have nothing to give, just keep on coming back and help us build this channel with some good content. Again, don't forget, each one of y'all, when you see his cash app in the chat, at least $3. You can give more, but at least $3.
Right,
With that,
right.
I like to sign off, and I tell everybody, be proud and take care of yourself so we can take care of our community. With that, y'all have a good day.
All right.